Hey, it's Mr. Tottenham from the Health Classroom. You're about to witness a behind-the-scenes look at our podcast experience with the middle schoolers. We have two 7th grade understudies who will follow along with our 8th grade podcast hosts as the 8th graders interview their peers about teenage life. Then, in the middle of and at the end of this episode, the 7th graders will do some reflecting of their own. This is meant to give you some insight into our recording process, but also it allows me to coach some up-and-coming leaders. If you're looking for the polished version of this podcast episode, that's an entirely different video link altogether, and I'll include that in the description here. For now, here's Dayon and Nico as they follow along with 8th graders Dhruva and Kanishk as they talk about travel and vacation and learning outside of school. I'll be back at the end to wrap some things up. Enjoy.
Yeah, but it's fine because
You
gonna introduce or are we?
Rashad's
I'll introduce you as the first question.
about
Well,
DC.
okay.
Him.
Okay. About what?
How do you spend time with your family?
Okay.
Oh.
Hey guys, welcome to the Life of the Future podcast. I'm Kanishk, this is Dhruva, this is Rashawn, and this is Danish.
Today we're gonna be talking a little bit about what we do with our family or outside of school stuff. So to start, my first question is, what do you like doing with your family outside of school?
Honestly, my family, we all play golf. So we all just sometimes just go to a golf course or a driving range, and when it's winter we play in my simulator, just hang out. Or we come from a family that loves cards, so we play cards a lot. Or make food.
Yeah, like cooking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, my dad travels a lot for work, so when he's here, I like to go for recreational activities, like Top Golf or Main Event and things like that. And I also enjoy watching some older movies with him, discussing things about that.
Yeah.
I think just for me, I just spend time with my family watching TV or something. Nothing too much.
Yeah, I agree with Janish as well, because my family also likes board games and stuff, so it's always we don't do that too much, but if we can, we do. But then there's always movies outside of school, weekend nights is movies, watch a lot of movies. Yeah.
So when you guys don't have your parents home necessarily or anyone to interact with, what do you do as that next step to keep yourself entertained?
So for me, I really enjoy playing guitar, and whenever I'm bored or something, I just play guitar. And I like learning songs that, I enjoy listening to, or otherwise I'm just kind of on electronics and devices like that, social media.
Yeah, same. I'm either on electronics, or I just practice golf because of tournaments, and or I just randomly pick up a deck of cards and do stuff with that.
I would say for me, I also like playing instrument. I do the drums, and I practice that at home. So sometimes when my parents are not at home, I do that by myself. Also because really loud. So especially because both my parents work from home, so I can't really be playing it while they're in meetings or anything. So that's when I find free time to do it. So that's one of the main things. But other than that, yeah, social media, I think that's pretty common, with most people. But
when I can't find something to entertain myself, most likely I'll just go on my phone. But other times I'll play something with my brother, or I'll play with my cat.
Yeah. I think next question is probably travel based. Do you guys like to travel, or is it something that you guys don't prefer?
I like to travel with my family. We have this yearly thing with all the cousins. We go to Wisconsin Dells, the water parks.
Oh yeah,
area.
I've been there.
Yeah, and then we usually go to Atlanta. We drive down to Atlanta once every few years to visit other cousins.
Yeah. So you have a yearly thing?
A yearly thing, and then once in a half decade thing.
That's cool.
I don't travel much internationally, but I do visit California a lot. I am going there in spring break, and I find that really fun.
Is that where your dad travels?
Yeah, my dad's headquartered there, so
Yeah.
we visit there a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, for me, I guess I'm going on road trips pretty often, and also if I like traveling, but I've done most of my traveling to interesting places when I was super young.
Yeah.
And then kind of you kind of realize how much you didn't take it in back then,
Yeah.
and now
Yeah.
you want it now.
I think it's also harder to, like, when you're at a younger age, like, you don't remember too much as compared to, like, if you were to go now, then I feel like it would stick with you for a longer time.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So for me, it's kind of the opposite. When I was younger, we had like a yearly thing almost, or every 2 years we would go to India, and every time it was just India to the same places to meet grandparents. But now it's starting to become like
More diverse.
yeah, to different places, because it's like you can remember it for longer, so the experiences matter a little more, like seeing different new places. So for me, that's how it is now. But there's also, with like the road trips thing you said, that's also pretty common. Except for me, it's like I get a lot of road trip travel when I have to travel for soccer. So
Yeah.
that's like when it's most common. But other than that, every like now and then when a break comes up, like
Yeah.
spring break or winter break, whatever it is, like here and there there'll be a
Vacation.
trip. Yeah.
I also go to travel for like golf.
Yeah.
We had a trip recently to DC. How did you guys feel about that? Like us three?
It was, honestly, it was really compacted in like a day, but it was a fun experience with the roommates. Like, especially the hotel, it was fun just
Yeah.
playing with them and just like making new active memories together.
Yeah. I agree too. Like, I think there was one aspect was like learning about the places that we went to, and for me it was a lot of things I hadn't seen before, because I've only been there once, and most of the things that we saw when we went were new to me. But there was also like staying with friends in the hotel room. That was fun, because that's like kind of a different experience. That this is kind of like our first time doing
Yeah,
it.
like the first time without your parents, and it's like
Yeah.
it's a big step too, cause like first time going to the airport security without your parents.
Yeah, that's true.
First time going
Airplane
in a hotel,
too, I guess.
Yeah.
airplane
Yeah.
without your parents.
Yeah.
It's kind of different.
Yeah.
So as you guys know, I wasn't there. So like,
Yeah.
what were some highlights of the trip?
Honestly, one night we like stayed up like a while and played
Yeah, like
cards.
12.
It was like a fun time, and we just bonded all together, like,
Yeah.
and it was just overall fun. And we also tried to like get Netflix on the TV.
Yeah, that didn't work.
That one was also fun. It's just all part of the experience.
Yeah. I know the other rooms were saying definitely more late than we were. Like, we were
Yeah.
trying to get sleep, because
Yeah.
every day, it was actually, there was pretty, like, solid schedule as well.
It was like a
It was
long
just,
time
like-
outside, so
yeah,
you
and we had to
couldn't
be ready, like, at the breakfast place, like,
super early.
yeah, at, like, 7:30 or something. So we definitely went to bed early, but
Yeah.
Right.
it was
So,
all just part of experiencing.
I have another question. You know, you guys know that we're going to high school next year, and after high school, it's like next 4 years. How much time are you gonna spend with How are you gonna try spending time with your family? Because you're gonna go off to college after that.
I think like right now this is like one of the last easy years you're gonna get before you're
Mhm.
gone.
Yeah.
So I'll try to spend like live in the moment with my family, and when I get to high school, maybe do some like homework like as soon as I get home, do it early. Use
Yeah.
like academic achieve time to like do that so I can be with my family.
Mhm.
Even if it's like small, like sitting together for dinner.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah. What about you?
I think that I would try to like spend my years in high school as much as with time with them, because I know that after college, even if you're like in the same state, you're not going to be as much in contact. So
Mhm.
I think keeping contact and connection is something that's really important too.
How often does your dad travel?
He travels like weekly, but it can also depend from his schedule. He travels
Yeah.
internationally too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you guys all traveled internationally?
Yeah.
Yeah, many times when I was young, like.
What was your like favorite place so far?
I've been to Madrid and Barcelona. I like them because I got to view like the FC Barcelona stadium, and the food there was like really good.
Mm.
I used to travel to India annually, but I think that one of the biggest international trips was Singapore.
Oh.
Although I don't like remember it fully because I was really young, like through
Yeah.
pictures I kind of remembered it, and I think that was a really cool experience.
Nice.
Like going to Universal there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it was like either Portugal or Morocco, because it was like super fun seeing the streets over there. It's much more lively than you would get
Yeah.
like almost anywhere in the U.S.
Yeah. For
And it
me,
was-
oh sorry.
You can go.
All right. For me, it was. I actually have to agree with Janish because for me it was Barcelona as well, because it was the first time that I was near the beach.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's not an ocean. Like that's
It's
the sea, right?
the
But
sea, yeah.
yeah. But for me, it's kind of nostalgic because because when I used to live in California, we would go to the beach very often.
Yeah.
So to me, it was like kind of special, and so the whole beach thing, like we went to the beach in Barcelona, and that was really fun.
Yeah, like
And
nostalgia.
yeah, and when I went, it was kind of special also because I was meeting a friend who moved there for like a year or something. So that was also fun because he was my friend in elementary school.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was special to me, but also just the culture. It was just so different, and you just get to like experience it all firsthand.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I think also just like the nostalgia thing, it just creates memories, and that's like stuff you can't forget,
Yeah.
even if you tried.
Even like
Yeah.
the small things.
Yeah.
How do you guys make sacrifices to keep a good relationship with your family members?
I'm Dayon, and this is Nico. Okay, so at the beginning, they talked about how their dad travels to work, and I can relate to that because right now my dad works in a German company, so very frequently he travels to not just Germany, but he travels to Detroit. He travels to a lot of places, especially in Europe. He travels there.
Yeah, just to add on to that, my dad doesn't do any of that, so that's cool. My dad, so he's at work usually for a long time, so like we don't travel at all. Like, do you ever travel? Like,
Yeah, we do yearly trips during summer to go to Tennessee to meet family.
no, I don't do any of that.
So, does your family like to have like game nights together to spend time?
Sometimes we play on the Nintendo Switch to play like Mario Kart, or this isn't usually my whole family, but mostly like my uncle or my dad will play Smash Bros. We play some other games too, although usually not often, like super often, but yeah, we do.
Do you play board games or is it just like
Oh yeah, we definitely play board games.
what's
Like
your favorite board game?
to play with family, that's hard. Probably either Monopoly or Clue. I like both of those games.
I don't know any of those games.
You don't know what Monopoly is?
No,
What? You've never played? Okay.
I remember played it one time, but I forgot all the rules.
Okay.
So they said I can relate to them saying that when their parents are away or like they're home alone with like their siblings or just alone, they play their instrument, and I do that too.
Yeah.
I play my cello when I'm alone, and I practice lots of music. Right now, I'm practicing Calypso Jam, which is a piece that
Yeah, that's a piece we have to play in
in
7th
orchestra,
grade.
yeah. So I have a question for all you viewers. So if your parents work at home, both parents, would you like it? Would you like it if they rather travel to work so you would be home alone more often, or just work somewhere else so you would be home alone more often, or would you like it that they're working at home more so that so you get to spend more time with them?
That's a good question. All right. So what I liked about the video is that like they stated like just simple ideas or anything related, or they even asked questions in the middle of it too to each other. Like one of them asked, "We are going to high school like next year. So what will you do like after high school? Like when you go to college?" Like I liked that question because it like related to like what you're gonna do. And I have a question for you viewers. So if you and your friend didn't go to like, let's say you didn't go to the same school or the same high school or whatever you're doing, and you had contact with each other, how long do you think you would like talk to them a lot, or how long would you think you would keep in contact with them?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's any 8th graders watching this video, past or current, would you guys recommend the DC trip to us 7th graders? Put it in the comments down below.
Car, so we have like that bond, and for my dad, we play golf inside.
Yeah.
So I always like come to him when I need help for homework, and I can see like that makes him really happy.
Yeah. What about you?
I think that definitely like you said, like sacrificing technology or not playing online with friends and stuff, because I understand that like spending time with family is something that's very limited, and hanging out with friends, seeing them in school is something that I still have a lot of time to do, things like that.
I think I agree as well. I think being like getting yourself off of technology, off of like not all the time it's distractions, because sometimes it's like maybe you are talking to friends and like that's part of your social life and that's fine, but sometimes like when you are just scrolling, then you can use that time instead to be with your family as well, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's not just like when they are like asking you to like do something, it's also just voluntarily like to make a decision on your own, because that's when like it shows them also that you like
You
care about being
them.
with them and spending time, and you understand that, like you said, the time is limited with them compared to like friends. You always make new friends, but
How do you guys like celebrate important events in your family, like birthdays or any holiday or anything like that?
So for me, my grandfather passed away like when my dad was very young age, and he passed away on New Year's. So every New Year's we go to the temple, both for to do like a puja, which is like an Indian celebration for his death, and also just like blessings for the new year.
yeah.
And for me, either we like always make like a homemade gift for whoever we're celebrating or what we're celebrating, and that just shows like how much we care.
Yeah.
And we just like to keep things simple with like a nice like good homemade dinner.
That's very something that I feel like we do as well, because I know that for birthdays especially, I've seen this like with my sister a lot. For everyone in my family, like even for Christmas, it's not really like in our like religion, because it's part of Christianity, but we still do it just for like fun and like the idea of having it. So I know like it's a big thing with my sister where she just likes to make homemade stuff, because for everyone, like my parents, we all understand like that's way more meaningful than like something. If you can't think of something and you're just like trying to make someone happy, like what she does is like that's why it's special to us, and like something that only she's been doing for like a long time. So for me it's kind of similar, like homemade stuff and just doing simple things.
Yeah, same thing for me when it comes to Christmas. It's like we like most of the time we put up the tree or we do stuff like that, but we're not Christian, so we don't pray or go to the temple or anything like that.
Yeah.
But during birthdays, we normally just go out. We spend like tons of time as family.
Yeah. Same thing, I think, for birthdays. But also, like, New Year's, like you said, for us, it's like, it's special for everyone, right? But it's never been like you go somewhere with like a bunch of people and like public to like celebrate. It's always, I mean, I always remember having a celebration inside the house, just watching it on TV.
Yeah.
So it's like we celebrate it, but not all the time. It's something like big and extravagant. Yeah.
Yeah, so I know I said something like this before, but like how do you like, instead of your whole family, how do you like specifically bond with one person in your family rather than everyone as a whole?
Honestly, I just would get to know them like one-on-one. Maybe just text them a little or like talk in person. And then I would find something that we have in common and really bring out that aspect of me so that we both feel like we're both like
Bonding.
and we have similarities.
Yeah.
So with my mom, like usually on the weekdays she's tired from work and I'm usually busy with schoolwork, but on the weekends we kind of go out a lot. You know, like we go to the mall just, you know, for a change of scene, just to walk around and talk. And with my dad, I like to like, you know, keep in contact with him, text him, call him. And we also just, like I mentioned before, like just go for some activities outside.
Yeah. For me, I think a lot of the stuff I do is like with the entire family combined, but the times when I get like one-on-one with my parents is like if one is traveling. Like my dad travels not as much as your dad probably, but he still does travel like every month at least. And so whenever that happens, I get to like spend time with my mom and my sister a little more. Or like the opposite, like if my mom is traveling, her friend lives like in a different state, so sometimes she goes to hang out with her for like a week or two. And so during those times, it's like you live with whoever's with you, kind of. And apart from that, me and my sister, we this year we go to the same school. I mean, I don't really see her during school or anything, but I know like during our childhood, we would like have a lot of time together. And like, I don't know, I keep seeing like old videos that my parents took of us like when we were kids, and it would always just come up. And like, I know we were talking about culture and like what we do for birthdays. I just remembered this, but they normally like have a slideshow of like pictures of every year birthday and like yeah. So I just remembered that because they do that for like both my sister and me. So
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when I'm trying to, like, I bond with my dad by watching football with him during football season. We'll watch, like, the whole game together and just talk about it. And then with my mom, during the summer, I'll go with her on walks. And during the winter, I'll go shopping with her. And then, like, I agree. My parents have, like, a whole bunch of photos and videos of me and my brother when we were young.
Yeah, I think it's like important what you said, like finding something that you and the family member that you want to bond with, like something that's like
Special.
Yeah, special, or like only between you two. So like with my dad, it's like recently it's been like going to the gym or something.
Yeah.
But then like with my mom, it's kind of just like around the house, because that's when I spend most of the time with her, like whether it's helping her out like in the kitchen or like playing a game with her, or like even when she takes me to like practice, it's even those small times like in the car, like just having just talking to them. And, I think
that's like the same thing for my sister. Like we don't get to talk that much because she's focused on college and that, but like we do have this one class on Mondays, and when we're in the car we always just talk. And random times on the weekends, she'll take me with her friends to just hang out and give me food.
I mean, I agree with that, but like I don't really go out with my brother too much unless, like, I go out with him sometimes, but not as much. Most of the time I'm talking to my mom or my dad rather than my brother, since he's like high school's hard and he's doing stuff.
Yeah.
So like as a single child in like many years, do you guys still see yourself having a tight, like close relationship with your siblings?
Yeah, I think the older you get, the more closer you guys get, because you know when you're young, like you're at that age of like snitching, like, oh, he hit me. Like that. When you get older, you realize how how important that person is, and how like actually cool and nice they are to you after you both are like chill.
Yeah, I know. Like heavy on that tattletale things. I used to do that a lot with my brother.
Yeah.
And like I'm starting to regret all those years I used to fight with him, cause now he's going away next year, and probably not gonna talk to him as much as I would with him in the house.
Yeah.
I think I have the same like kind of fear that like when I go off to college for like at least 2 years, like
your sister.
Yeah, my sister, like I mean, obviously at that point you'll make a lot of friends, and like those will be the people that you will be with.
Yeah,
but then you also I feel like it's kind of just part of life, but I think it's up to like us to like keep up a good relationship with your siblings? Because it's always important. So.
Yeah, like my cousin always like comes back now from because she goes to like IU.
Mm-hmm.
She always comes back every weekend to hang out. But like it's like my parents said when I was young, like, oh, you and your sister are gonna have like a great relationship. You just not right now, but later you guys will be like really chill.
Do you guys have a lot of cousins?
Yeah,
I have tons.
too many.
I actually don't. I only have like one. Like
Yeah,
first
I
cousin.
used to have only one for like most of my childhood, but now I have two more. But that's it, cause a lot of like the friends that I have, like I know always talk about like meeting with their cousins, like older cousins. But I'm like the oldest out of all of them, and I can't relate with that as much.
Yeah, so what my mom told me is that back when she was young, like the cousins that she had were more like brothers and sisters to her.
Yeah.
Because they were always together, like every single day. And like for them, like that like translates to how my second cousins basically for me are like first cousins, because they're so close.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we always have like these meetings, and like I said, we're like a card playing family, so everyone just makes a big circle, and when we're bored, we just make something out of it.
So, definitely my final thoughts. I liked how they did. They did really good. They asked questions. And here's one last question for you viewers before we end this. Overall, how well do you think that going places with friends and family, how efficient from a 1 to 10 is that probably to stay close to them? I mean like being with friends and family, and you're out in a different place. It could be foreign, all that. Like, how well do you think that like furthers your bond? Like, or is there other things that you could do that could also like further your bond even more? And put your answer in the comments.
So my final thoughts is that I think that it is in fact very important to spend time with your family and friends, because if you don't, then it's gonna be very harmful to health triangle we learned. It's gonna be very harmful to your mental and social health. So I think it's very important that you spend time with your family and do stuff outside of school with your family and friends. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Stop doing that.
All right, there it is. Thanks to Dayon and Nico for providing us with some reflection on their own on the topic of learning outside of school. Notice how the 7th graders are getting better and better at being in front of the camera and speaking clearly, and all the life skills that we always work on in the health classroom: communication, decision-making, advocacy, and self-management. I think you'll agree this is some pretty neat insight into what it's like being a teenager today. If you like what we do, please share with others who might feel the same. That always helps us reach our intended audience. Look for more episodes very soon, and as always, thanks for tuning in.